speaking to these 5 young aspirants, there is one question that echoes very strongly, viewers, and that's the question that we asked today. Should the government have involved stakeholders, especially when they are coming up with such a massive sweeping reform where the Indian Armed Forces recruitment is concerned? Should there now be a possible outreach program? Yes, that the government is going out, trying to give out information, dispel myths that surround the Agnipath scheme. But should more be done, because they are coming down with a heavy hand on protesters, even those who are protesting peacefully? Should now there be a more sympathetic outlook towards it? On the other hand, is the opposition piggybacking on people's anger, because there's palpable anger where the youth of this country is concerned on this reform that is being rushed or pushed? Is the opposition smelling an opportunity and trying to leverage political mileage? And once again, in all of this, especially because it concerns a very vulnerable section of our society, India's youth, should a more sympathetic approach work better? And should there have been a steady rollout instead of pushing this massive reform? Make few changes, tinker, see what's working, what's acceptable, then try to push some more. And ultimately, can the government's promises assuage aspirants' fears? The aspirants that we spoke to 5 minutes ago, it doesn't seem the message that the scheme is in their favor has filtered down to them. I want to take all these questions to our panelists this evening. Joining me on the show on News Today are Sanju Verma, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson; Gurdeep Singh Sappal, Congress spokesperson; Rajiv Prasad, JDU National Secretary. Appreciate all three of you for joining us. Appreciate the patience. We were talking to some of the army aspirants there. Sanju Verma, whoever we spoke to, at least on the show, and it's not that we tried to get a certain voice on the show, in terms of aspirants, still have a lot of fears attached to this scheme. Should the government possibly have not rushed through with these reforms? Maybe involve the stakeholders here? And it's very clear who the stakeholders are, not generals who are talking in favor of the scheme.
Preeti, I was listening into the 4 young men from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and Haryana. You had a nice mix of aspirants. I think the one thing that came out loud and clear from each of the 4 was that they do not have a problem with Agnipath per se, but there are problems which they expect on 2 counts. A, the fact that ex-servicemen have not been inducted as per the reservation quotas in various fields, be it CAPF, CRPF, Assam Rifles, etc. तो जब पहले की भर्ती नहीं हुई है, तो अभी reservation देकर भर्ती होगी, इसकी क्या guarantee है? This is what one of your aspirants by and large said. And the second concern is that there is no monetary security because there is no pension. I will quickly address both. First and foremost, this is a voluntary scheme limited to Jawans. It is not meant for officer level cadres. Nobody is putting a gun to your head and saying कि आपको army में भर्ती होना है. First and foremost, the other important thing that needs to be mentioned here, Preeti, is because there's been this allegation going around that BJP is trying to treat the army as an employment exchange. I completely denounce that statement, and that is precisely what we are saying. That while the government will ensure that apart from the 25% who are inducted into the regular cadre, the balance 75% will be absorbed, be it the Indian Coast Guard, the ITBP, CRPF, CAPF, Merchant Navy, 16 different public sector undertakings, so on and so forth. Your channel has been very elaborately showing that medical allowance, leave travel allowance, canteen allowance will be given both to Agniveers as much as they are given to anybody else who's serving in the army currently. There could be a slight difference in the nuances. But the big thing about pension not being there, so I just want to say, look at it from this perspective. The tangible benefits we all know. You have a 48 lakh insurance cover, you have a Seva Nidhi of 11.71 lakh, you get annual salary of between 4.76 to 6.92 lakh, in the 4 years that you serve. But what about the intangible benefit, Preeti? You get the stamp of having served in the Indian Army, the most reputed institution globally. You also get world-class training. And to quantify these, to put a number to these, I think is taking away from the seriousness
Okay.
of the entire effort.
I want to bring in... Right.
I'll just take 10 seconds. आपके शो पर जो एक युवक ने कहा कि स्कीम तो अच्छी है पर एक्स सर्विसमैन को अभी भर्ती नहीं मिली, तो हमें भर्ती कैसे मिलेगी? So I just want to say, एक्स सर्विसमैन पिछले 2 साल से कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको रिजर्वेशन के तहत भर्ती होना था, नहीं हो पाए, बट मनोज पांडे दी आर्मी चीफ, आर हरि कुमार दी नेवी चीफ, and Air Chief Marshal V.R. Choudhry, these people of your service have said that last 2 years were an aberration because of COVID, and it is because last 2 years there was an aberration. There has been an initial waiver and the age limit was hiked from 21 to 23.
There are lots of... Right.